Okay, this is going to be a new thing, bringing it to seniors, because there's not enough reinforcement for seniors for almost every subject I can think of. As far as where seniors are concerned, they're last in line, even though they try to make you believe that you're first in line. Seniors, that's a bunch of BS. This country has absolutely no respect for seniors, and it's that's what's pretty much in our society. You look at China, and everybody's so afraid of China taking over and whatnot, and they ought to be, because you see, China has something that the United States just has never found room for or a need for, and that's their elders. One of the reasons that China has such a stronghold is because they have experience and wisdom from older people that they turn to for advice, for experiences that they have lived through that might shed light on a way to enrich themselves. And the United States doesn't care about that. They don't care about their elders. They don't feel they have anything they can learn from us. Basically, you're biding time, just waiting. And I just wanted to make this because I want to keep up on it, because I think that there's a lot of people that feel the way I do. And at my age, let me tell you something. I came up, just as most of you that are around this age, through the 70s that were coming out of the 60s with the hippie thing and the love child, so-called, love child, shit like that. And what good did it do? None. The racism in this country is so prevalent and so out of order and not needed, but the government stirs it up. But I'm not going to get into that. This government's just off the hook. But the one thing is that was the tail end of the hippie thing, the 60s and the early 70s. But when I was 18 or so, the full punk thing came through, and that grabbed me like a magnet, because I always was, going against the grain and stuff like that. So of course I took to that. So I think a lot of you guys also are from that era, and it's a take no shit era too. And it feels like when you get to be this age and people treat you the way it is indicative and of the United States and the culture, it feels really, really bad, and it feels really, really. You feel helpless, Even if you live in a family and there's people, it's like you feel helpless, you feel less than, and I don't think it should be that way, and I don't let it be that way for me. I mean, and so, I thought, well, why don't I, do a stream or do some videos on, how you can feel better about things. And the way you feel better about things is when you have control. Control is a big thing. Control is right next to power, and when you don't have those, you feel really, really, there's bad things that go along with that, You feel useless, you feel worthless, you feel used up over, and the thing is that none of that is true. None of it is true, but it can feel real. It's very real. What I was going to say is, it's time that seniors in this country, say, fuck you, man. And I know that sounds really crude, and it sounds, but it is what it is. And I don't fucking let anybody talk to me shitty or talk to me in a placating way or like you're some fucking convalescent, what I was going to say is that just for an instance, driving tonight, I drive almost every day, where I have to, whenever I have to go somewhere, I drive. But the thing is, a lot of people start driving less and they feel intimidated because these people are just something else. I mean, I'm here in Los Angeles and the way they drive is so rude. It's incredible. I've never, ever in my life experienced what goes on here. And it's not just young, 18 to 25 or something. They're like 40-year-old people. To me, they're punks. At this age, at 64 or whatever, they're punks, and I don't give them an inch. And when they start messing with me driving, I'm like, man, you messed with the wrong person. I'm like, you messed with the wrong person. Because you know what? You got to remember this, you guys. And I'm talking to, who I'm talking to. I'm talking to seniors and stuff, okay? I know this might sound horrible to some of you because you might think, well, that's not the right way. No, it's not the right way, but sometimes it's the only way, okay? When people are fucking with me, I have a van, and it's in okay shape, but I mean, it's a 95 Dodge. It's a really big van. And the thing is that it looks like it could go either way. Like it could be a decent thing because there's no major dents or anything. Or it could be some guys who has it and is homeless or something. So it works good because when people mess with me, I'll get up to them and I'll roll the window down and say, hey, check it out, man. I have no insurance. I don't give a fuck if I hit you. If you want to play games, you sure look like you have a car that's worth probably about $30 to $40 to $50,000. I know if that was me and I saw a van like that, I would stay the fuck as far away from it as I could. But you're playing and you want to drive all aggressive, you're a big aggressive driver and stuff. Okay, you're messing with the wrong person. Because you see, you might think that I have no insurance and he'll go to jail or something. No, you won't. No, you won't. I'm not going to jail. You're not going to jail. Nobody's going to jail. The cops don't even give a shit about fender benders or tickets like that. And because they're so plagued with people that are doing things like they have a thing here where these guys, they take insurance out and somebody hits them from behind and they sue and they split the money. And they've had so much of that the cops don't, you're not even supposed to call in fender benders or stuff like that unless somebody's hurt. You're supposed to exchange information, whatever. But what I'm saying is, this government and people, young, especially the young, have people so convinced that you're going to get in trouble for something. Okay, well, let me tell you something. You're not getting in trouble for anything, okay? You're 65 years old. What are they going to do? Put me in fucking jail? Been there, done that, okay? And you know what? They've taken 9 years of my life to collectively. Not that I'm saying I didn't deserve it, but I probably didn't. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to get into this long thing, but it's like the guys that are still in jail for marijuana. Do you think they really should be in jail for marijuana, considering it's legal now in almost all the states, even though I think it's stupid? And I think legalizing it was a really stupid move, only because I don't think that marijuana per se is bad for you, but it most definitely is a gateway drug. And anybody that says it isn't, they're either just lying or they're stupid. I mean, anybody that's done drugs, ask them what the first one they did was, and they'll tell you marijuana, most likely. Anyways, it bothers me because my kid smokes, and I just tell them, Danny, I'm not, like I said, it's not marijuana that I'm worried about, But anyways, so what I'm saying is that they're not putting you in jail for anything. You get in an accident, you know what? You know what they're going to do? They're going to send me letters that say, I owe this guy money and I better pay him. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and drive around me and be aggressive like that, you motherfucker. These little assholes with their fucking hybrid garbage, little slot cars. They race around and get around you, and they're like gnats. They're like gnats. Get around you. I can't stand it, But anyways, I'm here, so I'm gonna come back. You know what? I paused it because the light is so light here and everybody can see me, and I'm an ugly motherfucker. I don't care. But anyways, ugly on the outside, ugly on the inside. You know, ugly both ways. But anyways, what I was going to say is the seniors in this country, it amazes me. I guess becoming one, it amazes me how disrespectful the public is to you and me. And I'm not going to put up with it, and you shouldn't either. It's like I have people call me, like my son, or people that supposedly care about you, and they do, but they'll say, when they ask you something, you know they're trying to ask you, are you okay? Like, why wouldn't I be? But, so my son, I've gotten to answering him the way I do now. Like when he calls, he goes, what you doing? I used to be like, well, I'm doing this and that. Now, when people call me and they go, what you doing? I go, whatever I want. Okay? Because that's what you should be doing also, is whatever you want. Okay? If this is truly the closing chapters of this, what we call life, then I'm not putting any airs on for anyone. I'm not doing anything that I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do. It's all about you. You should remember that and know that it's all about you. Don't let anybody talk. It's just really affected me because my mother passed away not long ago. I'm sure a lot of you are going through the same thing or will be. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Life is just so, it's such a cheat. But I'm not going to get into that. But the thing is that I can't. Well, I'll talk about this more in depth, but I'll tell you something. I'll be damned if I ever die in a place, in a hospice. I didn't even know what that word meant because it just had never had a reason to be in my life. I think I might have heard that word once. I actually, like a dumbbell that I am, thought that a hospice was like a hostel, like where kids go when they go on vacation and they go to a hostel, a youth hostel or something. I just never heard the word, and when I did, it was going by so fast. Something I'm not interested in, traveling to hostels, youth hostels, that I always thought it was the same kind of thing. So when my sister told me my mother was in a hospice, I was like, well, what's she doing there? And then when she told me, I was like, hospice is not the same as hostel. And she goes, no. And I go, you're telling me that there's a place that people go that they know they're not going to come out of again. And when she told me, my whole everything just changed, and it was so horrible. And I was like, man, I'm not dying that way. I am not dying in a way that is like, oh, okay, it's all, what would you say, packaged with a ribbon around it, and now he's off now, and now it's a memory. Oh, no way. So I guess that, and then I read something in Facebook about a guy a cab driver or something, or Uber or something, picked up a woman, and she was old, and he went and knocked on the door, and she was so older. She put on a little hat, like some pillbox hat from the 40s, and she told him what she was doing. She was going to a hospice, and she wanted to take the long way there because she wanted to see some things for the last time. Now, you know how that tore me up. It just tore me up, and thank God that he said, or whoever wrote the article said, thank God he was a nice guy because he took her for like a 2 hour, 3 hour ride and then didn't charge her. Well, who would? I mean, Jesus Christ. After she tells you where she's going and you see how she's looking at the places that she said she used to go dancing here and this is where her and her husband met. And I was thinking how sad life is. And I'm not going that way, man. I'm not going to go close the door on my house and get into a cab and have them take me to beyond the last grazing grounds. It's the glue factory. It's the fuck that. And so you see, it makes me just want to get involved with things where I think that older seniors and older elders are being treated bad, or they're a little bit timid. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. I only told you about the thing with the car and stuff to give you an example of, like, what can they really fucking do to you? I mean, I was at the police. I was at court. I was in court not long ago for having my license suspended because, and what it came down to was, and you can go ahead and feel self-righteous and be indignant, and I'd be behind you if you're older, because you got that right. If you've made it this far to this age, you've got that right. You got that right to be irascible. You got that right to be pissed off. You got that right because life is a cheat. And, just when you get old enough to have common sense and it's just too late. They say, youth is wasted on the young. That's so true. But anyways, the thing is that I was right, though, and I wasn't being indignant or anything. I was right, because I'll make this short. What happened was the Obama just put that healthcare bullshit in, and when I went to renew my license, they gave me a something to have filled out by your doctor because I was in a bad accident on my motorcycle some years back, and so they gave it to me, and they gave it to me, and they said, hey, you have this filled out by your doctor. Well, with Obamacare, or whatever you want to call it, the Affordable Care Act, it was pretty much like an HMO. You see a different doctor every time. So when I would show that questionnaire to fill out, for the doctor to fill out, they were just like, it was like the sign of the cross to a vampire. I don't know you that well. I don't know you well enough. And I'm like, okay, great. This is great. So since I see a different doctor here every time, which doctor will know me well enough? None. Okay. And that's exactly what happened. None of them wanted to fill it out. And I went back and forth with the DMV saying, check this out. You're asking me about a health problem that was a back injury, not like I have epilepsy or seizures that I'm going to lose control of a car. I said, this is from a back accident, and so, that's why I felt very, I felt that this was not something that, I was trying to pull over on anybody or something. I had a back injury and a leg injury from an accident. Those are like bones that heal, okay? So, but they don't care. You have to fill out the whole questionnaire. They're not going to just, to take the work to find out what was your health problem, or, it was a broken bone. Okay, that doesn't do anything about driving. They're not going to go that far. They don't care. So everything's on there about the other stuff too, like asking, well, anything and everything that you could be and have. So they just lump you into this one thing, health problem. Okay, well, that's bullshit. And anyways, what happened was it went on and on for about 10 years, and they kept suspending my license every time it would roll around to renew it. They'd suspend it, like if they, saw that I was driving or something. So they took away about 2 cars, 3 vans, this is in 10 years, 2 motorcycles, and an RV. Okay. So I was getting so sick of it, I was like, I don't give a shit what they do. I have to let this culminate into getting in front of a judge because of all the red tape and all the time that passed by. I couldn't even explain this to anybody at the DMV. Some policemen were actually understanding about it when they'd pull me over, and I'd say, they'd go, "You have a suspended license," and I'd tell them the story, and then I'd say, "Look, man," I'd say, "You know what? I'm not going to stop driving. I've been driving since I've been like 9 years old, and I'm 58 or something at the time, or 50." And I said, and also, I had kids late in life, so I was like, if I don't pick up my kid and you leave your kid on a corner in LA at nighttime, you're going to be in trouble with the CPS. Child Protective Service is going to come after you. I'd rather be in trouble with DMV than them. So anyways, I went in front of the judge, and I told him just what I told you right now. And he was basically, he was logical, he took it all into consideration. And he said, "Okay, I see that this is what it was, and you're telling me the truth." He goes, "However, you did take it upon yourself to drive when they said don't drive." And I said, "Yeah, but I just told you about picking up my kids after dark and stuff." And he goes, "Regardless, you broke the law doing that." And I was like, "Okay, so what are you going to do to me?" And he's like, "You have a fine of this much money." And I was like, "I'm not going to pay it." And he's like, "What?" I go, "I'm not going to pay it." I go, "I don't have it, and I'm not going to pay it. You are not going to extort money out of a guy who's practically, or was, you're going to be a senior soon." And they still take it from seniors, And we can get into this another time. The tickets, the parking tickets. That's just legalized criminality. I mean, you're late to a meter, it just expires, and they give you a $75 ticket, and then 2 weeks it goes to $150. When that meter can make which is ridiculous. Even so, $1 an hour, 25 cents every 15 minutes. So $1 an hour. Let's say that meter's up for 12 hours, right? That's $12. But they're going to hit you for $150. Okay. That's to me legalized criminality, and nobody cares about it, does anything. All these people these days just lay down and take it. That's why I'm saying it's like we're all about the same age if you're listening to this or watching it. And you know who Abby Hoffman were and Bobby Seale and the Chicago 7 and stuff. There's nobody like that anymore. Anything happens in politics, people just take it. They just lay down and take it. Nobody protests. The only protests I've seen lately are women for or against abortion. I don't really give a shit, I mean, in that whole area, I mean, I don't give a shit. It's because that's their fight. Most of the women that are our age are going to have children now anyways. And I've already had mine. And I personally, I don't believe in killing a life, but there are situations, that sometimes there is no resolution that is going to make anybody happy, and I can't even weigh in on it. I can't imagine. It's a very horrible thing. But anyways, what I was going to say is, so the judge kept saying to me, "You're not going to pay it." I go, "No, I'm not going to pay it. You're not going to rape me, because you just said that you could see where, yes, that happened. There was that Affordable Care Act, and yes, it is like an HMO, and no, the doctor is usually a different one every time." And so I said, "So all that in consideration, and you're still going to try to fine me something like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000?" And I was like, "I don't think so." I was like, "I just told you how many vehicles were taken from me that you guys sold in auction." And I said, that all adds up to about 120 grand if you really want to know. 2 Harleys. And I said, I would call it even. In fact, I would think you guys owe me money. And he was laughing. And he wasn't mad, He thought that it was kind of funny, but he was still going to try to get that money out of me. I mean, that's the way this is now. So I said, okay, you want the money from me? I said, equate it to jail time. I'll do the jail time, I've been in prison, and I'm not proud of it, but, it was always for something that, I was doing to myself, which was supposed to be a victimless crime, but getting caught with, some substances or whatever, like, what a big surprise, I'm a musician most of my life, and this was in and around the jobs and whatever. Anyways, he was saying, "No, I won't do that." And I was saying, "Why?"
I'll tell you why. I knew why. Because they want that fucking money. They want that money. They don't care. They don't give a shit if they take it from the poorest person. They're going to take it. There's, I know you see what's happening as far as like the rich are getting richer, the poor poorer. We always knew that the middle class was going to get killed, but it's happening. I never really realized how it would be if that would happen when you were older, and it's bad. It's real bad, Um, but I can tell you some ways of that's what I would like this stream to be about. This one will be longer than most of them because I'll just do one every once in a while and touch base and give you some shortcuts and stuff. Um, shortcuts are sometimes not good. I remember somebody told me, and it's true, that a man who cuts corners travels in circles, but sometimes shortcuts are okay if it is going to be advantageous to your quality of living. And I know quite a bit of things like that. Some people like to call them, in their digital world, that they're hacks, I don't give a shit what they call it. It's like, I call it getting over on the man. And there's a lot of ways, and from everything from bills to pay, and everything. When I say bills, I mean covering everything. It's like in this country, they let hospital bills ruin your credit when that absolutely should be illegal, because it is not something that you went and purchased that you wanted as a whim, like a stereo or something, and defaulted on it. It's something that you didn't ask for to be put in the hospital. So anyways, most countries don't do that. We do. So you have to get creative. And also stuff like that, and down to also things like self-defense, because believe it or not, it's an ugly subject, but there are some youth oriented hoodlums and thugs that think it's an easy thing to do, that seniors are an easy mark. That doesn't happen with me either. Like the driving in the car and the guys doing that. It's what, I'm nobody special. It's what most of us all have. But see, they beat you down and try to put you in a place where you feel timid, because almost timid and then grateful that they're even going to acknowledge you and wait on you, or like whether it's the phone store or a restaurant, it's just weird. It's like a weird virus that's going around where, I don't know, maybe it's just, that's what the youth and younger people are. It's hard for me to judge, because I wouldn't want to think my son would be like that to other people, and I don't think he is. He's not some good actor that he's going to act like he's caring and then he's really not. But there are a lot of kids and a lot of youth that are not. They don't care. And it can get ugly, it can get ugly. But I have things that, I guarantee you, if somebody, a kid or a 30-year-old or something, had some designs on doing something nasty to me or any of my friends that are about the same age, it would be one of the worst choices they ever made. Okay, I try not to do things illegal. I try to walk the line as much as I can, and but since I was in jail or in prison, and they don't care if it was for drugs that you put in your own body that were legal. It doesn't matter. It's considered a felony. Okay, so that being said, a felon can't possess firearms, right? Okay, well, that's good. It doesn't matter to me because I don't like guns anyways, but sometimes they are necessary. And the thing is that this country is so stupid. It's just it's indicative of so many ridiculous policies they have and stuff that is not thought out. It's like they want to ban guns, but they don't consider an air gun a gun. Now let me tell you, that is one of the biggest mistakes that they're making, and the air gun industry knows it too, because they're starting to ramp up their air guns, because people like Nancy Pelosi, somebody like that, they would look at an air gun, and as soon as they hear the word air, they think it's a toy. And that's the general public's consensus. It's a toy. No, they're not a toy, okay? I mean, I have one that it's called an Umarex hammer, and the slug is giant. It's like a 50 caliber. It's giant. And they take down boar and buffalo with it, okay? So it's like if it can kill a wild boar or a buffalo, it could kill a man, okay? But it's considered, in the people like Nancy Pelosi and most, common laymen, they think it's a toy, it's an air gun. No, it's not. And so I say, the air gun industry is taking advantage of that because, they start slowly and lightly, like by saying, okay, this shoots pepper balls and it's for, home defense and stuff. But, you have to remember that and that's good too, that's good too. Believe me, a pepper ball gun is going to stop somebody, it's a lot of people might think that, or youth might think they can walk through that. No, they can't, I know they cannot. It's very, very effective. Anyways, what I'm saying is you need to take care of yourself because younger people are really in a hurry to get you out of their way. If they're in a hurry to get anybody out of their way that isn't going to be advantageous to what they think is their prosperity. So, especially if you're older, they just want to get you out of their way, or whatever. So you need to take care. I have something I think that every person over 50 should have, and it's this. Show it to you. It's this. You see this? This cane? Yeah. It's a cane. But it's not just a cane. It's also a very, very strong taser cane. And it will stop like the biggest guy, I had a guy put his hand in my pocket, right, downtown. He asked me if I had any money, and I said, no, I just have enough for my son and myself. I'm going to pick him up. He goes, well, I want it. I said, oh, really? That's nice. And so he came over to me. He goes, I'm only kidding, man. I'm only kidding. Then he goes, no, I wasn't kidding. I really wanted it. And then he stuck his hand in my pocket. See, that's their new thing. That's their new get down, is they say they're kidding and stuff, so that if, in fact, a cop should be coming by, or you get the attention of a cop, or it gets to a cop level, they can say, I told the guy I was only kidding, and then they'll ask you, the cop will say, was he saying he was only kidding? And if you're honest, you're going to say, well, he said that, and then they don't know. So it obfuscates things and convolutes things to the point where the police don't even want to deal with it. They're like, this sounds like some kind of crazy, So what I'm saying is, they find these weird loopholes and things, and so I had to, discharge this. And let me tell you something. This guy was a big guy, and he fell so fast that people looked, and I just said, hey, people, can we get some help here? This man fainted, And then when people came over, I just took off. So, you need to take care of yourself and protect yourself. And besides that, there's other things too. It's like I told you about the air guns. The air guns, even somebody who has any record or something can have one. And there's a lot of them that do really quite nicely. And you should, I never want to have to use something like that. I never want to get in a situation where I have to have self-defense in mind. But I'm sick of people taking advantage of seniors. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it, One day, I put some money in a lotto machine. I shouldn't have done it, whatever. Anyways, it was $100 bill. And they don't give you change. I didn't know that. They don't give you change. You know, you have to use anything you put in it. And that wasn't surprising. But it didn't even acknowledge that I put it in. It didn't say, like, you have $100 worth of credit. So I told the people, and they even saw me, the worker there saw me put it in, because I asked him for change first, and he said he didn't have it. So I thought, okay, I'll get $100 worth of lottery tickets, who knows. So anyways, when I told him, because he saw me put it in, and I said, it didn't register, it didn't come out. And he said, oh, you're going to have to tell my boss. So I came back the next morning, and I told him, and at first they tried to tell me that, you know, there was nothing in the machine. The guy, the owner, he went there and took it out. He got it early in the morning because he told me there was no $100 bill in there, and I was like, sure, okay. So, because I got there right when they opened. And I said, when I told him that even your own employee saw me put it in, he didn't want to address that issue. Like I said, call your employee and ask him, and he didn't want to address that issue. Then his wife said something real smart-ass to me and said, maybe you forgot, you're getting old, aren't you? And I said, what? I mean, I'm older, but it's like, you know, I don't forget things that, anyways, this is just to let you know, you know. So anyways, I want to wrap it up. That's it. And, you know, I'll be back. And remember, this is going to be SDS. That's what we'll call this. Senior Demolition Society. SDS. And it sounds good. Okay. Senior Demolition Society. Signing off. And have a good day. Don't let anybody give you shit. And get everything you can, man. I mean, get everything you can. I don't care if you got a good pension or you have good income of some sort. You know, I see these people working everything, and you know, you might have people tell you, well, just because they do it doesn't mean you have to do it. Oh no, it does mean you have to do it. Absolutely, it means you have to do it. If people are getting EBT cards and getting food for free when they have money that they could be using it and aren't, then you better get it, because what they're going to do is use it all up and illegally, and what you should have had coming, you won't. So don't hesitate when there's programs and things, you know, for whatever, you know, whatever, and they say it's for seniors, go get it. All right, I love you guys, man. You know, it's just, I'm not going to lay down. I'm just not going to do it. I see so many things so wrong. And when they are wrong, you have to remember, when things are wrong, like in politics and stuff like that, the reason it bothers me so much is because it's like 1,000 times more wrong for older people. 1,000 times more. And you know what I mean. I mean, I don't have to explain it. It's just, if it's hard for the general public, it's 1,000 times harder for seniors. But nobody seems to care. All right, take it easy. I'll see you again soon. If not tomorrow, the next day.